Hello. Emergency, emergency, emergency. Okay, let's see who we have here. Okay, hold on. Let me see. Hi, everybody. What a crazy day. What a crazy day. At the nail shop, my headphones on, clock in. I'm here for the mess. We're going to have a real conversation tonight. Thank y'all for, hey, Queen Sheridan. Thank y'all for taking time out of your day. A lot has been going on today. We are here to talk about the emergency news that occurred today with Brit Eady not showing up to the reunion and Kenya Moore not being invited. So, listen, there's so much to talk about. I know some of you guys are at work. I know some of you guys are literally just told my orthodontist I got to put my AirPods in for this. Okay. So I'm going to make sure to get this thing kicked off. I was on time for the first time. Hey, Lionel. So let's bring in Claudia and Dustin.
Hey. Hey, friends.
Look. I started not to show up to the live today.
Like a housewife. Like a housewife.
Fuck it.
Well,
Unbelievable.
I was in the middle of my workout. Look, I have my workout clothes on. I'm like, let me get back to the crib. I got my workout stuff on. Let me get back to the crib. Wait, so Carlos, they text us 911. We got an emergency meeting. I'm like, let's do it.
Yep, absolutely.
No, I listen. That's why I tell people all the time. I love Claudia and Dustin. I literally had the team contact them within minutes. They all said yes within seconds. We dropped what we're doing. I have a flight to catch tonight. Dustin's out of the state. Yep. Claudia was working out.
I'm unemployed. I had time.
Please.
Oh, please. You are gainfully employed, unlike Brit Eady. So let's have.
So there's an opening. Just kidding.
Claudia, your dreams are coming true.
Oh my God. All me talking about Portia and Britt all season was my ultimate goal to get on the show from Dallas.
So ridiculous, right?
I love my life in Dallas, but I will go for a check. But anyways, okay.
I mean, listen, I would be a housewife. I'm teasing.
Exactly. Well, you could.
Honey, all that money they make, that's why we're going
to... Justin, a.k.a. Dustin, caught it.
Potomac, D.C. area. Yes.
I mean, let's have a real conversation. Okay, so let's talk. So, with that being said, it has been announced that Brit Eady nor Kenya Moore are at the Real Housewives of Atlanta reunion, and we have to have a real conversation about what happened and what this means for the future of Brit Eady, what this means for the future of Kenya Moore, what this means for the future of the show, in addition to what it means for the future of reality stars. So I'll kick things off by saying this. Brit Eady did not show up to the reunion. She did not show up. It was her decision. She did not show up. That is what my sources have said exclusively. She was ready to go. What happens, and Claudia Jordan knows this, and Raindrops, I've said this before, but hear me loud and clear. A day or two before the taping of a reunion, all reality stars, no matter what show you're on, you get the full season. You get the rest of the episodes that have not aired yet. Okay? So all reality stars go into a taping of a reunion having the opportunity to watch the rest of the season that has not aired. Okay? Claudia Jordan and I talked about this, what happened the next 15. How Claudia was like, I ain't showing up. And I'm like, Claudia Jordan. So Claudia knows how real this becomes. I am hearing that Brit watch the rest of the season. So it's very important, Raindrops, that as we continue to do Monday Night Live and recap the season, we have to watch the rest of this season to see what Brit saw that made her not show up to the reunion. She was a no call and a no show. And that's the reason why she isn't there. I want to start with Claudia, who obviously knows what it's like to tape a reality show reunion. What are your thoughts now that you are aware that she watched the show and then decided not to show up?
Listen, I know I keep my foot on Brit's neck every single week because it's called accountability, but I do understand if something was that triggering to you where you're like, I just don't want to deal with it. I understand how she feels, like putting myself into her shoes, but hindsight 2020, you also don't get to explain yourself and defend yourself for whatever it is that we don't see. Like when Mia left the reunion, we were left with, now we don't know what you could have said. You can't really clap back. You lose your voice. So, I mean, I wish there was it's already, was it shot today or this weekend? It was just shot, right?
It's shot today. As of right now. So guys, this is live. As of now, the Housewives are taping the reunion.
Right now.
Brit, I know Brit, I know you're watching. You're home right now, just like me, unemployed. Girl, we are sisters in unemployment right now. You should get an outfit together.
Line sisters. Unemployment line.
Don't put on a credit card because right now your credit's not. No, I'm saying no. I think you should go down to that reunion right now and get in there for like the last half hour. Say something because you're leaving the door open for everyone else to write your story. If there is more to you than what we saw, and we've been harsh on you because of what we saw, and there is like a resolve to some of the stuff or an explanation, you being at the reunion would actually, give yourself more power. And actually, if you showed up, maybe they would have invited Kenya. No, they said they disinvited Kenya a while ago, right? Or was it because of
Kenya? We'll get to that too. Kenya Moore tweeted today that she was not invited to the reunion.
Bravo, what are y'all doing? Y'all are smarter than this. This would have been like one of the highest rated reunions in a while. I mean, not more than season 6 and 7 and 8, but I'm just saying it would have been so good if she would have showed up and Kenya would have showed up. It would have been humongous for her. Brit, I think I know I've been hard on you, girlfriend, only because I want you to be better. It would have been so good for you to show up and explain yourself because now they're going to explain you for you.
Yeah. Where your ass was at? That's what I want to know. Why weren't you at the reunion?
Is that a feature lyric?
What is it? Like, yeah, where your ass was at. That's right. You caught that. Look at my friend. But anyway, I just don't understand. You got one job when you are on a cast of The Real Housewives, no matter what city you're in, you have one damn job, and that's to bring your ass to the reunion and complete the season. Everybody knows the reunion is the grand, biggest stage, the most grand, biggest stage that you have access to as a housewife. It's when everybody's listening, everybody's paying attention, and it's your chance, just like Claudia just so beautifully illustrated, it's your opportunity to let your voice be heard. And Brit Eady was in the most she was the most needy of her voice being heard out of everybody on the cast, her and Kenya. To me, that was the biggest story. It literally changed the entire season. We had another housewife end up coming back into the fold because of Kenya's exit. There was room there. This was literally the biggest moment in the entire season. And the fact that it is going to be overlooked and maybe commented on, I don't know, for 2 seconds at best by the other ladies who weren't even involved in the actual situation is insane to me. I think there was a huge opportunity here for the reunion to really stand out and really give the fans the connection that they needed to make all of this shit make sense. And I just would like to know, I'm very curious as to why that did not happen. I don't know, like looking at the powers that be and thinking about what they were given to work with, I just don't know how they could decide not to have Kenya and Britt, or not Britt, but not to have Kenya at least at the reunion. And I don't know why in the hell Brit Eady would not show up. What did she do in those next few episodes that we don't know yet? What did she see in those next few episodes that we don't know yet that influenced her decision not to come? And Britt liked to dress. Alone is reason to come to the reunion. Like Brit always has looks, all that archived. If you really get into like what she's wearing in her confessionals, those are archived pieces that are very important to like fashion and the story of fashion. And so I know that she was at least looking forward to the opportunity to put her shit on. So what would make
Mhm.
you not want to show up? That's the begging question that I have. Why? Why didn't you show up?
And I'm here to answer that for you. Look, me and Claudia had conversations when she was on the Next 15. She watched the rest of the episodes. And listen, the beauty of Claudia Jordan, whether you like her or not, she is the consummate professional.
Yep.
As a reality star. And the reason why I'm so protective of reality stars, the reason why I always try to find grace within all of them, is not easy to be judged by the masses. It's not easy to give your life to a show and watch your behavior come back when you're getting beat down by the audience, right? It's an exchange. What is happening right now is this, and I'm going to say this and not take it back. Reality stars within the past couple of years, they don't have the stamina to do the job. They just don't. They don't. A lot of them, I'm not saying this is Brit's story. I would love to figure out what her mindset is at, but I think I have a really good sense of what's going on. Our reunion's not in their contract. Yeah, but yes.
She loses an episode of pay, which I think they need to change the contracts where like maybe you withhold a little bit more because the reunion is the button on the whole season. I think on Zeus, they make it where like, hey, you really can lose a lot more than just an episodic fee. Producers are gonna have to start getting smart because not having, if you withhold more of the money from the end, you kind of have more control. Because if they're like, all right, I'm only gonna lose one episode, Brit, let's be real. A first season housewife is not making that much money. She's not making that much money the first season. It does escalate, but like for her, losing one episode probably wasn't that detrimental, you know, to her as it would have been to like one of the OGs that get a bigger check. But it's not that uncomfortable to. Well, who knows? I don't know her money.
Well, no, I think the thing is this, but you lose your job.
Yeah,
Brit. The reason why I wish Brit would have understood what she was getting herself into. You got to have the stomach and the stamina and the strength to do this job. And a lot of people who join reality television today, they want to get famous, which is fine. Ain't nobody tripping off of that. Be famous. Who gives a shit? But that can't be your only goal here. You have to understand it's an exchange. And the thing with newer reality stars is they can't take the heat. So Brit is not the most docile, domesticated person on the cast, and that's fine. She was entertaining in the beginning. I said this before, and I'll say this again. I do feel bad for her that she had to face the images being presented on the show. I don't know what that feels like. I'm sure it doesn't feel great. I will always feel bad for her for that. Because she did not sign up for that to be revealed, right? So I will always give Brit grace for that. The unfortunate thing is this. She never, ever, ever after that still gave anything to work with on the show or outside of the show. Brit had 1 week of press that was network mandated during the salon situation. And you haven't seen her. And she hasn't done a good job at making sure the audience can see more than what she was giving on the show. So the fact that she skipped the reunion, if I was able to talk to her, I would have said this to Brit the way I said to Claudia. And Claudia said this at the top of the show. Brit is giving the powers that be, meaning the other cast members, the opportunity to tell her own story. Whatever you said or did for these next couple of episodes that we're going to watch and talk about, you could have gotten in front of it. But now you will forever be remembered as the girl for the first time in the history of Atlanta Housewives, as a first season housewife, to skip a reunion as the most infamous housewife that Atlanta has ever seen.
Maybe she just don't want to fuck with the show anymore. You know what I'm saying? Maybe she's just done. I don't understand how she could have she obviously knows that will impact her participation moving forward in the show, right? It's just blowing off the work, like not coming to work. So to me, that sounds like she has checked completely out of this whole experience. And I want to hear from her. I want to know why. If she was positioned to be the victor of that situation with Kenya, right? She was given the keys to literally she moved Kenya out of the picture. What could have happened that was so bad that would make you give up that position as the housewife that was the one after all these years of people who have had complaints about Kenya, love her or hate her? It's been so many people who wanted to interrupt Kenya's dominance of the show, right? And Britt did it. Britt did it.
Yeah.
By hook or by crook, she did it. And so that is a very it's a very peculiar position to be in, but one that you can wield to your advantage if you know what you're doing and if you're smart. That is impact. That is something, that's a moment that people will never forget. And she was responsible for it. Why would you drop that? Why would you fumble that and not come to the damn reunion? I just want to know why. To me, that is her quitting the show. That's what that looks like to me.
And then, like, you know, she was chosen. Basically, the network decided to ride with her and over Kenya. You know, she had the backing, in a way, I guess you'd say, of the network. The network clearly chose a side. They both did really bad things. What Kenya did was not cute. It was bad. I would hate for that to be me. Listen, I could criticize a friend. Okay, it was not cool. That is not cool to do to anybody, right? No matter how obnoxious they were. But also the network is also, they did not handle Brit talking big about a gun either. Like, we know this. So if she could get past that part, that to me would be extremely humiliating. Imagine how crazy the next few episodes are going to be. I do think she's going to be exposed as being a liar and a bad person, because her and Kelly started off as besties. They call each other besties on the show, and now they're not. So maybe there's some severe girl code violation that kind of cements what we've already thought about her. It's got to be something that's worse than having pictures of you sucking D on, like, you know, it's got to be worse than that. Which, think about it. Is it something with her husband? It's got to be something really embarrassing. But once again, face them. You're so bold and you had so much bark in some of these other scenes, which I do believe is also fake confidence. I don't think she's really that confident.
You could tell when she was arguing with Kenya, Claudia. We both know how that goes. And when you're in the heat of an argument, she did not seem confident in that argument with Kenya when they were at Angela's dinner, when she was leaving and kind of rambling and saying the things that, you know, got all this shit started in the first place. She was less than confident. She was sheepish. She was leaning back and retreating, and then just saying things within earshot of Kenya so she could hear it. But she didn't really want to get in the paint. I don't think that she is a person who is quick in that way, and with the quick retorts and the comebacks. And I think she may have struggled a bit in that space, and she didn't want to do it for how many hours, Carlos? 12, 13, 14 hours at the reunion?
You're there for like 12 hours. And the thing is this, you guys made a very good point. At the end of the day, there was a line drawn in the sand, and you were chosen as the one to continue filming. You literally were chosen as the one to continue filming. Although people said you should have been punished by what we saw on the show, you mentioning a pistol, but you were able to continue filming. And I think it's one of those things for me as the owner of a production company. I think it's one of those things where it is a sort of slap in the face to the production.
Hell yeah.
You know
She'll
what I
never
mean?
get another reality show again after that. Who would want to bank on her after that? Like, you're done with the entertainment business, Britt. Well, you're done with reality. Who would want to, Carlos, you with your production company, would you put money behind Britt? Would you cast her on a show knowing that she can't really hang? She might leave. She's erratic. Like, after, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I saw one of the raindrops say this after the thing with Kenya, and they decided to go with Britt over Kenya. She was given the biggest lifeline. She could have just played the victim and been like, you know what? I can't believe another sister would do this to me. I'm hurt. Let me start advocating for other women. She could have had women's empowerment brunches, turned another leaf, and made everyone fall in love with her and be like, damn, that Kenya was really messed up for doing that. And we would have, instead, she doubled down on being a bitch and being mean to people that she didn't even have any like organic real beef with, just being angry. And I think she's like, maybe she got too many people in her head at the hair salon telling her, yes, read them bitches down. And without really read them down when there's a reason, not just because they're across from you at a dinner table.
Yeah, no, 1000%. And it's unfortunate because you were the chosen one. You were able to resume filming. and my thing is this, and this is the part that, as a producer and a production company owner, that is so unfair. At the end of the day, however Brit behaved at that time on the show, that was you. And you have to you don't get a pass because you behaved the way we aired it, and then we are the ones that are being held captive by spending millions of dollars to do this reunion. There's so much money brought into it besides obviously your pay. You spent money obviously on making sure you were ready to be presentable. Whatever you saw, you know you did. And listen, I do understand. I want to make this clear. I do understand that obviously to see it, like Claudia has said before, does bring back all of these old feelings. But goodness gracious, it's the job you signed up to do. And at the end of the day, you have to face the music. And for me, when it comes to Kenya Moore, who tweeted today, and I want to read this to you, Claudia and Dustin. Kenya Moore tweeted today after news broke that Brit Eady did not show up. She said, "I'm disappointed to not be a part of the Real Housewives of Atlanta's 16 reunion taping today. Please know I take full accountability for my actions and deeply apologize to all those affected, including Brittany, the cast, crew, guests, and viewers. I look forward to seeing you all back on Bravo soon."
That should have been her tone from the beginning. That is succinct. That is complete. That is effective speech. That is exactly what she needs to be saying, so that we will see her back on Bravo soon. And next, by soon we mean season 17. God damn it! So good job, Kenya. That should have been the messaging from the beginning of all this shit. That should have been what Kenya was on right there. Listen, I take accountability. I apologize to everybody. See y'all back in the next go round. Boom. That's all people wanted. And that's why I don't understand why Brit wouldn't take accountability for whatever she did or said that caused her to skip that reunion today. Now, it has been rumored that there's a disagreement between her and Shamea. And she said, well, Shamea said in some of her interviews that Brit mentioned her kids in some sort of way that wasn't positive. And so maybe
and I want to say too, Dustin, because Shamea has 2 kids. It is alleged, because I want to make sure to say that we haven't seen it yet. It is alleged that Brit said something about Shamea's special needs daughter.
See,
allegedly. Go ahead, Dustin.
So she did. I don't feel bad about none of the smoke I gave her all season. Matter of fact, if she does that on this Sunday show, wait to see how much I go in her ass on Monday.
Oh, for sure.
From the BET Awards, where I will be with Drew Sidora. But yeah. Maybe I'll get her to come on with me. How about that?
So we have it. So Shamea, who has done interviews, Shamea said Brit spoke negatively about her young daughter's health, and they stopped speaking to her right after the interview. So that's Shamea said it. I also heard the same thing. It was her special needs child. She said something about her health. And maybe that's what it was. But again, you said it. There's no AI in reality television, despite how many of you fans want to believe things that your fave has said. I didn't say that. Okay, girl, AI. The thing is this. You said it. And yes, it's an awful thing to talk about anyone's special needs child. However, we've all said some shit that we're like, shouldn't have said it.
Right.
You face the music and you apologize for it. How beautiful would it have been, in my opinion, for Brit to go up there, look at Shamea? I would have done this if I was Brit. I would have looked at Shamea and said, I have no excuses for what I said. It was an effed up thing that I said. I apologize to you, your daughter. And because of that, I'm going to donate money to a charity that deals with your daughter's condition. I feel awful. I'm sorry. Yeah. And I understand that it's going to take time for you to forgive me. I will give you all the time you need. But what I just did and what I just saw was disgusting. And I can admit that. And I'm sorry. What can you say to a person after that besides,
yeah, I mean, you got to be embarrassed for a little while. You're gonna have to listen to the fans, and it does hurt. You got to stay off social media because it will mess with your anxiety. I do see some of the raindrops saying that the comment was something to the effect of, and we don't know yet, allegedly, saying something like Shamea needs to be home with her special needs daughter. That's not the same as criticizing your kid, but we have to wait and see what was actually said. Because sometimes people think just a mere mention of your kid is you're dissing the kid. That's not necessarily the case. Was it a dig against Shamea, or was it a dig against her daughter? Now, if it was a dig against her daughter, kids are off limits, and you need to.
Yeah, that's fucked up. If she was talking about that baby, that's fucked up. But then think about how they tried to say that Drew was saying, well, we gonna pay for Portia's daughter college and all this other shit, when it wasn't even a comment that was inflammatory towards Portia's child. But that's how it was carried back, like she brought up your child. So we don't know what this looks like. We don't know what she said or didn't say. The only thing we do know for sure is that she didn't show up to the reunion. And for the life of me, I just can't wrap my head around why.
So Carlos, there's now an opening for one of your faves now, in Atlanta Housewives, Mia.
Well, let's talk about it. Oh, guys, breaking news. This is why you got to do it live. Okay, hold on, guys. Listen, don't judge me. My good eyewear is in my bag because I have to catch a flight in a few minutes. So I got my drugstore readers. Okay, so
real.
Claudia, don't judge me. Okay, Brit Eady posted something on her stories, and this is, guys, she posted this 5 minutes ago.
Oh wow.
Okay, so raindrops, Claudia, Dustin, listen up. As everyone is now aware, I'm not attending the reunion. This was my decision. The events, hey Tisha, the events of this season have devastated me. And while I cannot say much right now, I do want to set the record straight about one thing. The graphic sexual photo surrounding the events in episode 5, that photo was not me.
So can you...
Hold on. There's more, Claudia. There's one more. There's actually 2 more paragraphs. I'll repeat. I do want to set the record straight about one thing. The graphic photo surrounding the events in episode 5, that photo was not me. As the episode makes clear, I did not see the photo at the time. Rather, I was made aware of the photo being presented at the event, and based on what I was told, assumed that it was somehow a photo of me, which is why I reacted in the way that I did. I do not know who was in that photo, but upon seeing it for the first time recently, I now know it was not me. I look forward to seeking accountability and moving past this dark part of my life.
Nah, hell no. Hell no, hell no, hell no. If that was not her on that picture,
then who is that hoe?
For real.
Wait, I think Kenya spelled it without the E, but the proper spelling is with an E at the end, though. Let me redo it.
So Kenya's
what do you
fired.
think,
Kenya's fired. You're not at the reunion. You've been crying and playing the victim, and not even playing the victim, but really pulling on our heartstrings as viewers, right? Like we're showing empathy and having empathy for her and considering what happened. Claudia just talked a couple of minutes ago about how it was a horrible thing that had happened and Kenya wasn't right, you know what I'm saying, for posting those pictures. All to find out it's not even her.
The part that's confusing to me, and this is breaking news. This is breaking news. The only thing that I'm able to say is, when did she find out that wasn't her? I can confirm she did watch the episodes. So there's a sort of timeline that needs to happen. You did watch the episode. Did you find out that the picture wasn't you today? Before you watch the episodes, during the episode? Furthermore, you did say, and again, this is what she said on camera. She said that she was a webcam girl. It was her best friend. She mentioned where she was at the time. So for me, I'm confused because if that wasn't you, why talk about a picture you didn't see? And again, this is me and Claudia and Dustin. Just hang with me for a second. If that wasn't you, is there another picture out there that is you? Like that's the part that I'm confused about. Because if somebody said to me, Carlos, we have a picture of you doing X, Y, and Z, I'm gonna say, first of all, I never took a picture like that.
That's
So
right.
that ain't me. You see, so I'm going with this. That ain't me. The reason why I'm confused by that statement is because if that wasn't you, why say that was you during a time if you never saw the photo? I'm lost by this.
And you told us, right, that you lost your insurance license because of this scandal. And I said back then, there's no way your insurance company, first of all, they don't have morality clauses like that. And second of all, that they would find out that quickly. You lost it before. I told you when I found the LinkedIn page that she had been done with the insurance. So there's a lot of lies going on here. Second of all, bravo. Would you just fire the star of your show that's been down for I don't know how many seasons over not even investigating, looking into it? Like, obviously they saw the picture. So Kenya could have just Googled a porn star and just got a picture and put it up there and like kind of been playing around like who was this hoe, but it really wasn't Brit. Y'all mean to tell me y'all let her go over a fake, wasn't even a real picture of Brit? Y'all look
That is
crazy.
crazy. That's crazy. That is crazy. And I know all the producers, I know everybody's pissed off because that's crazy. And for you to drop that bombshell, that's what the fuck you should have said on the reunion stage.
They about to
And
cancel
by
the
the way,
show.
y'all, that was not me on that picture. That's your reunion bombshell drop moment right there.
She
That
would have
would have been
gagged
a
them.
huge moment.
She would have gagged them. Unless there are pictures of her really gagging on something and she's like,
It
boy.
must be though, because she talked to her mom about that. She talked to her husband, everybody about it on camera. She was crying, saying, I had to talk to my mom about sucking dick. She said those words. It was in like the trailer, and we saw the scene where she was, getting emotional about it. So it must have been some picture. Honestly, maybe I'm in the minority here, but I don't care about. I'm not like I don't care if she was sucking dick. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't change my perception of her. You know what I mean? It wasn't something that I
Correct.
needed to be. I'm not swayed by that. So what? You know what I'm
I
saying?
agree.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I
you're
just feel like she
whatever.
turned this into something bigger than it needed to be, especially if it wasn't her in the fucking picture.
All adults have sucked dick or have gotten their dick sucked. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Well, look.
like
There's kids in the
Sucked or
room.
been sucked.
It's 5 o'clock, Claudia. There's kids in the room that got home from school today.
How those
they
kids
gonna
got
learn
here.
today.
Sometimes your mama didn't
Whatever. So,
suck it.
anyways, but I do want to go. I do want to talk about Kenya more. I'm gonna say this, and I have no choice but to be completely honest in terms of how I'm feeling at this very moment.
Yeah.
I can acknowledge I feel bad for Brit for having to even deal with that. Although I'm still confused about the revelation wasn't her, but that aside, to know that a woman gave her blood, sweat, and tears and was removed, now that we're hearing that it could not, that it wasn't Brit in the first place, this is wild, because I know for a fact, and Claudia, you can back me up here too, because you were a housewife. Kenya is one of the rare people I know for a fact who loved working on that show, and took it seriously. And I mean, the girl duck walk when Sheree said, "Get on my level." Like, she made sure to always infuse some form of comedy, despite her sort of like era where she was a little bit too much, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you appreciate the fact that at the end of the day, she was entertaining. I don't know what it feels like to sit home the day the reunion's taping and to also deal with all of this, and to know that you're now being told that wasn't her in the photo and you lost your job. It's a sad day for Kenya Moore. In addition to that, we all said this early on, that Kenya should have been at the reunion to be able to face the music, to face Brit. And this is the part that is so effed up. Having Kenya and Britt at the reunion showing solidarity could have changed the game
Yeah.
Everything could have changed everything about this whole situation. And the same way we can sit here and ideate and figure this shit out, I'm sure the producers over there are thinking these same things and having these same thoughts. So my question, the $1 million question is, why didn't it happen? Why was Kenya not at the reunion? Why was that not something that was already produced and planned out? Like, listen, she exited the season. Let's bring her back for the reunion. You know it's going to give the ratings the boost that you want them to have. You know the fans will go crazy. You know the other ladies on stage will have an opportunity to actually talk about it with the ladies who were involved. None of the things that we got. We were robbed of so much when it came to that part of this story, that I just don't understand how she can drop the ball like that at the reunion and not show up. So I'm
It,
pissed. I'm pissed.
is it me, or does it give conspiracy theory with production and Brit? Get Kenya out of here, lessen our overhead of our $2 million a year salary or whatever we're paying her. Because how you just find out on the day of the reunion? You was planning on going till the last couple days, right? You was planning on going until all this explosive stuff comes out the day the reunion is taped. I don't know.
No, I can't confirm.
Uh-huh.
No one knew she wasn't showing up today.
Mm-hmm.
I can't confirm that, Claudia. Everybody was shocked she showed up today. I mean, I'm sorry that she did not show up, because everything leading up to today, I mean, the girl watched the episodes, and your conspiracy theory, there's some sort of conspiracy theory with Brit making that decision today and revealing that it wasn't her. Because my thing is this, I'm just curious, this revelation, what does this mean for Brit now? Like,
Yes.
I when I said, y'all, I'm lost, and I know all three of us are journalists.
Yeah.
I have no words for what this revelation means for what Brit is going to do in the future. I really don't know.
So the night that it happened at Kenya Moore Hair Care Salon, Brit didn't see the picture, but everybody else did. Now, she has had a lot of work, so maybe it's like, okay, maybe a young Brit looked way different than she looks now. But nobody there in production, like someone could have been like, hey, I saw the picture. I didn't even look like you. Everyone kept it going like, no, it was you. It was you. It was you. I know you weren't there, but yo, someone told her that it was a picture of her on the poster board, and everyone was on board with it was Brit. And then the day of the reunion, we get a statement from her saying, guess what, guys? It was never me. Now you're lying then, or you're lying now.
Yeah.
Somebody lying. Like, there's no way all that time. Because at the time, remember, Kelly was her best friend, right? Kelly left a little early, but did Kelly see the picture at all? Did she leave?
Kelly did not see the actual oral fixation of the picture. She did not.
She saw, so she didn't see it, but somebody had to see it. Was
it her whole face, or was it a close-up shot of like the mouth and the dick?
I don't know. I never saw it. But
you think she's lying now to clean up her image? You think this is
that's the part? Go. I'm sorry.
This could be that's it. This could be I'm not coming back. But by the way, it wasn't even me anyways. And then we're like, okay.
It makes no sense to me. Brit entire storyline on the show never made any sense to me, because it was always hard to follow, and there was always something sort of like, with that.
Off.
But before I let you guys go, I do want to discuss his seating chart.
Oh yeah,
and your thoughts on that. So first chair is Portia and Shamea. On Portia's side, next to her is Phaedra, and then Cynthia. On Shamea's side is Shamea, Angela, Kelly, and Drew. Take it away.
Why?
They keep playing with Drew. They playing with Drew. Drew should be way closer, but whatever. Maybe she want to be on that side. But what? Shamea, I like her, but not second. Not like, no. But
unless Shamea and Portia are gonna go all the way into the deep dive that is necessary for their friendship, I don't want to see them being fake for like,
yeah, true,
3 episodes. I don't want to see that. If y'all are holding them first chairs down, go in.
Does Andy not like Drew and not like Kenya? Because that's what it's giving. It's giving Andy does not like Drew and Kenya.
Well, Drew was first chair. Remember, she said first chair at the season 15 reunion,
I
the
ain't watch.
last reunion,
I
when she
missed
was
it.
singing and Ralph came out and he said first chair too. And they had a conversation. And she sang. So she's had the highlight and the focus of first chair. I don't know. Carlos told us that that is a significant
Oh,
determination.
the first. Let me tell y'all something about the first chair. The night before the reunion, or the day before the reunion, the first chair in the seating chart is the most discussed, talked about conversation besides the script.
Mhm.
And when I was a part of it, I listen. I'm gonna say this, and I don't care y'all. Y'all can say whatever y'all want to. I don't really give a shit.
They're gonna read us.
It's fine. When I was there, I know the girls. There's not one person breathing who knows the Atlanta Housewives, the city, what it takes for that show than me. It's embedded in my DNA. It's a form of understanding how people behave and show up. So it is very much thought out. A lot of times it doesn't make any sense, but that's neither here nor there. Portia being first chair makes sense. That to me is listen,
That makes sense.
that's no surprise. I will say this: I like Shamea a lot. If Carlos King produced this season, first of all, King would still be there. I'm teasing. If Carlos
She
King
would.
produced this season, I'm teasing. I would have had Angela Oakley next to Andy, then Shamea, then Drew, then Kelly. That would have been me. That would have been me. That would have been me. I would have, if Brit was there, I would have had Phaedra come in part 3 because Phaedra didn't come until 12.
Why is Phaedra so close? Like, Phaedra, you're like basically a friend of the show. You come in on episode 13. Like, how many episodes are there? 16?
Like, it's 16 or 17. I don't understand why Phaedra's there from the beginning. That makes no sense to me at all.
She should be
yeah, I even would have had Kelly sit next to Portia because they're fine. But the thing is, I don't agree with Drew being last at all. This is a funny thing. Drew has emerged as one of the fan favorites of the show this season.
Yeah.
And obviously Angela Oakley has emerged as that as well. So the seating chart in terms of this arena makes no sense to me at all. The only thing that makes sense to me is Portia being first chair. But I love Shamea, but I would have had Angela be next to Andy if I was a part of it.
That would have made sense because they had that big beef. And then, Shamea should, I think, I like her too, but I don't think it should be Portia versus, because it kind of gives verses almost, right? Like Portia versus Shamea. And I don't think it's I mean, we do have some more show to watch, but I heard someone saw them recently hanging out or they cool. I don't know. So
You heard what?
That Shamea and Portia were like, that it gets bad for them, but that they were spotted like either being cool or talking. I could be wrong. I could have just seen that somewhere. But as far as the producers this season, who is this girl? I changed it. Who's producing?
Shut up, Claudia. You are a mess. So look, the last thing I do want to say is this, and this goes back to, because I really have to process this. And listen, we'll talk about this on Monday night. We're trying to make sure Claudia can join because she's booked and busy. She's going to be a part of the BET Awards, presenting an award. She's presenting. Claudia Jordan is presenting an award on the stage at the Kevin Hart hosted BET Awards Monday night with the beautiful Drew Sidora. So Claudia, we're trying to figure out how we can go live and figure this out because you're gonna be busy.
If you don't mind, I'll be in glam, and if I don't.
That's even better. That's even better, honestly.
You can see me get my hair clips put in, drawn in eyebrows. I don't care.
No, we love that. We love
today.
that.
I'm good. I'm ready. Like, we can do this. I don't want to miss Monday.
No. So we're gonna make it work. So the thing is this. We'll talk about this more on Monday. I do want to end with this. If Brit found out recently that wasn't her in the photo, what I find fascinating is this. If I'm on the show and somebody allegedly showed a photo of me, I would have asked to have seen it. I would have asked to have seen it, or I would have asked my attorney to ask them to show it. There's no way I can have an emotional reaction out of something I did not see with my own eyeballs. So, Brit, there's a lot of explaining to do. You are more than welcome to come on Reality with the King.
Or Brit, come on. This would be great. Like, even if you don't do the one-on-one with Carlos, you can come on the show with us.
Yeah, come on, join the live. She should
Join the
join the
live.
live.
Even for
live.
Kenya, like letting Kenya go and suspending Kenya over not properly vetting. That's why either Bravo dropped the ball or truly whatever with investigating, or Brit is lying, that wouldn't be too far from, we wouldn't be shocked. Somebody lying.
Man, I would love to hear from Kenya. I would love to know what Kenya thinks about this. I would love to know what Kenya thinks about Britt not coming to the reunion. And I would love to know what Kenya thinks about Britt saying that was not her in the photo that Kenya shared. I would love to
Yeah.
hear Kenya's side. But
Yeah.
we won't.
Yeah.
Someone said that Britt made another comment. Are you on our page?
Oh my gosh, hold on. She did. Hold on now. Breaking news. Let's see. No, she didn't. That's all she said. Wait, hold on. Okay. I was told she did not. I have sources. I'm a journalist.
Well, clearly I'm not as good of a journalist as I thought. You know what? You and Portia still hold the crown of being the top journalist for Real Housewives coverage. I relinquished my crown.
It's okay. You'll have it back on Monday. But Claudia and Dustin, thank y'all so much for taking time out of your busy day to hop on this live to discuss the breaking news. And listen, guys, the three of us, we will see y'all back here Monday night to talk about the episode and whatever unearths is then. So love you guys, and we'll see y'all soon.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.